deep, deep in outer space, to the planet Earth, to the red rocks of Sedona, to our online community here, comes a time, a message, a special series.
There is no better time for making contact. I'm George Norrie, host of the national radio show Coast to Coast AM. Alan Steinfeld has put together a well-conceived collection that covers it all.
Thanks, George, for that introduction. This is Alan Steinfeld, the editor and author of Making Contact, which is a collection of writings of the best and brightest people in the field of ufology. The Making Contact series, which is now being rebooted to the public for a discounted price, is comprised of many of the authors in this book, as well as a few other experts. Making Contact is a series that tells viewers what's really going on with UFOs, because the people that are supposed to know do not. Certainly not presidents and other government officials.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are. We can't explain how they moved, their trajectory. They did not have an easily explainable pattern.
Some of the phenomena that we're seeing could involve some type of activity that some might say constitutes a different form of life.
But of course, there's always the question of, is there something else that we simply do not understand everything that we're seeing?
I know what you've seen is what those Navy pilots saw in 2004, and there have been some 300 sightings since then. And I've talked to those pilots, and they know they saw something, and their radar's locked onto it. And then all of a sudden it was here on the surface, and then it's there. And they don't know what it is, and we don't know what it is.
But the UFO ET experts highlighted in this 6-part series do know what's going on. Here's an introduction by one of the top researchers in the field, Linda Moulton Howe, asking the big question.
Why do any extraterrestrial civilizations have vested interest in humans on Earth and Earth life here? The huge question. And that big question, it will be a part of a 5-part series entitled Making Contact, about the new realities of disclosure and cosmic awakening. The first episode about disclosure and the ET contact movement with Nick Pope.
For all the talk of openness and accountability, the sorts of people that run these intelligence programs, it's a nightmare for them to suddenly have something like this. So if they could have eliminated this by saying, look, let me just start with a statement to make it abundantly clear, even if we're not entirely sure what's going on, we know this isn't extraterrestrial. They did not make that statement. They could not make that statement. All hypotheses are still in play.
Dr. J.J. Hurtak.
We have to recognize that we are a microcosm of the mind of the universe. And we're seeing right now really the redefinition of scientific ontology, the recognition that we are a consciousness life form that connects with many dimensions, and that in this process, we're going to go beyond Einsteinian science to future science, or science guided by consciousness. And so this is really the beginning of a whole new page of evolution, recognizing the human evolution is indeed connected with what we call a higher evolution.
And Dr. Desiree Hurtak.
That there seems to be, we'll say, portals opening, veils lifting, and we ourselves, in our own personal realities, maybe in dream states, are having some of these experiences and getting ourselves soul-wise and conscious-wise prepared for contact.
Next 4 episodes are Deep Dive Disclosure with Investigators and Insiders, Danny Sheehan, Steve Bassett. 3. UAP, UFO technology, and the new cosmology, Carolyn Cory.
I guarantee 1,000% that advanced civilizations have a technology. They know how to transport themselves from point A to point B faster than the speed of light. Boom, through these nodes these points within space, these
These
coordinates.
stairs in the sky, you're saying.
Exactly.
Travis Taylor.
It could be a portal or a wormhole or some massive energy source or even a gravitational field. Those sound like far-off ideas to me. But we know that there's something strange going on up there, and we need to get more data to determine what it is. So in 2021, when our own government acknowledged that unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs, are real, it was no surprise to see how the media, the public, and Congress wanted answers.
4. I'll be talking about with Whitley Strieber and Kamora Jones, the soul and secrets of the ET presence. What do they really want? You look at the history of this planet is demonstrably one in which Homo sapiens sapien is abused. Because from my point of view, if you are a civilization that evolves for 12,000 years and you are always under the thumb of another intelligence that manipulates you, and that humans are never, ever talked to, communicated honestly, then we are today in the 21st century, 12,000 years later. We are an abused species, and that I would stress there are other intelligences and they really care about us and they want us to get past this difficult time of lies, deception by other forces that have never told humans the truth. Whitley Strieber.
What's here, the presence that's here, is extremely complex. It has many different aspects. You can't say they're good guys or bad guys. It's not a Buck Rogers movie. It is a real experience, and with an extremely intellectually sophisticated, knowledgeable, morally complex presence that has a significant physical component, as well as a lot of technology to support its presence in the physical world, but is also arrayed equally consciously in a whole lot of different levels of reality that we don't even know exist.
And number 5, Starseed Revolution, Hybrids and Human Evolutionary Round Table. Mary Rodwell.
Ladies and gentlemen, she's Mary Rodwell, who's known as the Alien Lady, and who's really an innovator in the hybrid understanding of starseeds and why these beings are here at this time. What's the topic of the presentation today?
It's intergenerational contact, focusing particularly on one family, the Dylans in Australia. And what's fascinating, it brings in past lives, but it also brings in the concept of oversoul.
Adam Apollo.
As I began to remember my Pleiadian lifetime more, I began to understand that the Pleiades is a vast and rich landscape of different species. And one of those species is very, very close to us as humans. And that species that looks very, very much like us from this water planet are so deeply in tune to the nature of sound and music and harmonics as a way of healing, as a way of communication, as a way of life.
We've added a special 6-part bonus to the series with ex-CIA agent John Ramirez giving us the rundown of how it's all changing inside the government.
The government is aware that there's more to this than just structured craft flying around in our terrestrial domain. Not only that, they also recognize that they operate in domains other than space, other than our atmosphere, and other than in our seas. I think that opens up that area called the interdimensional hypotheses, that they may be coming to us not only extraterrestrially, but interdimensionally.
George, any final comments?
The contributions of all these people help to give insight into the multifaceted intentions of the phenomena, because making contact presents the opportunity for us to prepare to meet advanced civilizations.
Presented by Alan Steinfeld and New Realities, Debra Giusti and the Global Peace Tribe, in association with Neil Gar, Portal to Ascension, and star family wisdom.